1051.
Yes, it is Power 105.1. Charles Hamilton is in the building today.
I am in the building. How are you, Miss Martinez?
Welcome. How are you,
Thank you.
Mr. Hamilton?
I'm alive.
That's-
alive. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to be alive.
Some people, like, normally, like, if somebody would say that to me, I think it was kind of like, oh, they're just saying that. But for you, I realized that is something that actually probably really resonates.
Yeah. Only recently have I been happy.
Wow. I just read the article on Billboard where you talk about being diagnosed as being bipolar.
Yes.
So were you always and just didn't know it?
I don't know. I tried to do some research on it. I found a disorder called dissociative disorder, where you believe everyone can see through your eyes.
Huh.
And I had been believing everyone could see through my eyes since I don't know when. So I was like, all right, so am I trying to disassociate myself from myself? Because I definitely know I didn't go to parties or anything, even when I was younger.
Right.
Because I felt everyone could see through my eyes. So it's like I can't get into too much trouble.
Staying away from people.
I stayed isolated,
Yeah.
but that helped me get better with music. I felt like if I could try to tap into that a little bit, I could get out of this funk of not being able to communicate with people because everyone thinks I'm weird for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like I used hip hop to survive.
So then you get to a point in your career where you're like, you're signed to Jimmy, you're signed to a big deal. There's a lot of eyeballs on you. People have expectations. And if you're dealing with like depression issues like that, that's not grounds for that. Like that's not an ideal situation for you.
Like I was if you listen to any of the music from 2008 and 2009,
Yeah.
I was really crying out for help. You know what I mean? Like fame is not something you can take on by yourself, but if you're not comfortable with the people you're around, it'll eat you alive even faster.
They say it's like a magnifying glass. So for
Yes.
whatever's really going on with you, it like brings it all the way out to like, like times 10.
Yeah.
So if you were already dealing with like depression and maybe bipolar doesn't just happen. I'm assuming that some of that was already still there. And so it probably all just brought it up, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, I mean, I felt, to talk about the bipolar thing, I felt some kind of way about how the whole thing went down as far as going to the doctor. Like in the Billboard article, they even said I was put into the hospital against my will. I definitely felt like I could have maintained as long as I could keep making music, and that being on certain medication would take away from my creative ability. But it hasn't really affected me. In fact, it makes me go harder because I don't want to blame a slip in my skills on pills, so I have to go even harder now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What do you mean? Are they making you take stuff?
No, I get a shot once a month.
Oh, and it helps?
Um,
It must. You say you're happier now than you've been in a long time.
True. Like I said, the people around me are making me happy. Like
Right.
when it's time to get that shot, like around that time is when I start feeling the depression kick in.
Right.
So I guess it does help.
So you have to take a shot for your whole life, a month for your rest of your life?
I don't know.
Oh.
They've tried different methods of it. One method, I gained weight in 2013. I was taking, I forgot the name, I think Latuda, and I had gained so much weight I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh.
So like the only thing I was doing was making beats, and I had to be driven to the studio in Long Island. So like I really sacrificed a lot for music. Like that's all I care about. Like depression aside, like all I care about is music.
Wow. So that period when we were getting like all these stories, Charles Hamilton said this, said the rappers are giving babies AIDS, and Charles Hamilton said Jimmy Iovine is God, or things like that. I don't know. I might be misquoting you, but I'm going off recollection right now. I remember there was a time that there was like a story about you every day that you were saying something like outrageous and was that a time? Was that how you felt? Were you dealing with some mental issues at the time?
I mean, I can say I was dealing with mental issues, but like I meant what I said about Jimmy. Like that's a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jimmy is a very powerful man, and
Right.
if Jimmy decides, and I was living in Harlem at the time, so if Jimmy decided he wanted to come to Harlem and pick up Charles Hamilton, that's the lordest move you could possibly do, because like really there's nothing anybody who's balling in Harlem can't stop Jimmy Iovine from picking me up. And Jimmy can change anybody's life in Harlem.
Did you do anything in that time that you regret?
No.
Really?
No.
Wow.
It definitely it molded who I am as an artist. I beat myself down um, a lot, but it's not necessarily something I regret. Like it made me stronger.
Are you optimistic? Are you hopeful about your future?
I am optimistic.
Good.
I'm just, a part of me just wants people to. A part of me is still on. Please listen to my demo for faith.
You should always keep. Like, you should always keep a piece of that, though.
Yeah, like
right.
Hopefully, you guys one day will get a chance to go back to some of my older music. Even the Pink Lava Lamp. You know what I mean? Like if you get a chance to just listen to it, you'll understand where I'm coming from and where I'm going, which is the music I've been making with Republic. It's an adjustment for me to kind of shake it off. You know what I mean? I used to live in the pain. Now I'm just working my way through it.
Oh,
I mean, there's some elements that they want me to stay away from that I'm drawn to that, I feel mold who I am as a person, but they're only telling me to stay away for my own benefit because
like what? What do you mean elements?
I can go very left. That's all I can say. Is that I can go very left and they'd rather me stay centered.
Right.
Because when you're too right, you end up trying to fit in. When you go too left, you scare people away. So I try to stay as centered and balanced as I possibly can be.
How long has this been going on? That feels exhausting.
I mean, but it takes stamina.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna get into music, your stamina has to be up. Like you have to be really ready to go the extra mile at all times.
Experiencing all of this, and what do you say to somebody? Because I'm sure there's somebody probably watching right now that is sitting home that is probably in the darkness of where you were at one point. Like, what do you say to that person?
It's not what you go through; it's how you go through it and how you bounce back. You have to. Actually, I have a story. I have a fan of mine who they have a family full of junkies, and he would go out and get narcotics for the family. And he was like, listening to my music, he felt as if he was turning against his family by cleaning up. And I was like, well, you have to take it upon yourself to be the man of the house and clean up you and your family up. They all have to want to do it. You gotta want to get clean. You gotta want to. You gotta want to feel better about yourself. Everybody has a day where they wake up feeling ugly. Sometimes people wake up feeling ugly and they don't ever shake it. You have to find the beauty within yourself before you move forward.
That's hard for some people, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's hard for me. Like I'm taking my own advice as I'm saying it.
Yeah, one day at a time. You go one day at a time. I'm sure the medication has to be helping.
Yeah, I can.
I'm only sitting here with you for what 20, 30 minutes. You seem like you're in good, but I could see the struggle. I could see that you're working.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I can't imagine for you. That must be tough. Well, at least you got a good team. At least you got good people holding you down now.
Definitely.
How does it affect the music? What does the new music sound like? Centered, right?
But like, they're like the Invisible Men who I've been working with. Like, we'll make 3 centered songs, and then they'll give me like a beat, or we'll start a beat from scratch, and it's like, all right, Charles, go
crazy.
Yeah,
they let you get it out.
Yeah, and like they'll love the record, but it's like, yo, we can't give this to the label. Like this is this is ridiculous.
What about this music? I know you have a song. Oh, you have a Rita Ora song too,
yes.
Right? That's not what I would have expected.
Yeah, I mean the song is a love song, and the way the song came about was the kind of aggression that I showed is a form of the passion that I showed to the woman who the song is about. So I'm almost asking her to like forgive me for being so rough around the edges sometimes, but when you're not around, I really get lost, and I kind of need you to be around more often, or I need to see you more often. So I kind of replaced addictions. You know what I mean? Like I was like, music is an addiction. Like that's just running through my veins. But like any habit I've ever had, I put to the side so I can focus on her, and it's it's a really powerful love song, and I was just like, well, who can we access that has a voice as powerful as the song? So like Rita Ora.
And she said yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she liked the song. We performed it together at iHeartMedia. It was really dope performance.
That's when I got the call, like, yo, you gotta hear this.
Oh, sweet.
And that it's gonna be in the Empire soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in the finale.
It's gonna be in the show and on the soundtrack.
Are you gonna be on the show or the music is?
No, I'm performing on the show.
Oh, dope.
I'm not gonna give away what the scene is.
Did you shoot it already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. So
dope. And it's in the finale?
Yeah.
That is a nice little positioning.
I appreciate it. Shout out to Tubby for that.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good look. You know what's crazy is the guy, who's the older dude on the show, on the Empire show? Andre. In next week's episode, they say that he's suffering. He's bipolar as well and is suffering with that. So I'm thinking that's going to be part of the storyline.
I mean, like,
it's more common than people think.
Maybe that's the case. Like, I look down on myself a lot. So, like, to know that I'm classified as, like, to know that there are people who kind of have the same ordeal that I have, it's kind of like, all right, I guess we're in this together. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully there's a way we can work through all these issues, or maybe I can write the songs or something to help. But
I know.
See, like, my answers are changing, like, as I'm relaying them. So, like, there's so many things to focus on when you have when you're in the stages of recovery.
When you say recovery, though,
like coming back, like I would see my doctor and she would say, okay, Charles, have you carved your arms this week? No, I haven't. Like, have you been smoking weed? No, I haven't. Have you been dipping in any other drugs? No, I haven't. And the recovery part is I would go into the office and saying, look, okay, I know I'm not supposed to be high, but this is what I'm dealing with is not on a surface that I can verbalize without being self-medicated. And it had to be from my doctor to say, okay, what you're dealing with is valid, but it is also considered bipolar. So it's almost as if it's a cover-up. I feel as though everyone who has bipolar needs to be set free from what it is that gives
that's causing them to be that way.
Exactly.
I could see that.
It's just finding it is the hard part.
So then you haven't found it yet.
I got music.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if music is the it that's causing me insanity, but I'm not sure exactly how to verbalize what may cause twitches. Like,
do you
what
still
the
have
hell?
That? Yeah.
Like, I shake my leg a lot, but that's because I play the piano and I use all three pedals. You know.
Right.
But it's kind of nerve-wracking to talk about because I'm not really sure how to explain it without going too left, and I don't want to be judged by anybody on the right.
You're gonna you're gonna be judged by everybody no matter what. Once you once you put yourself out there, that's what just happens. But it's not your problem what they think. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not your problem. All you can do is try to get better. Try to be better for yourself and for people who are struggling like you're struggling. That's all you can do, right?
Yeah.
Does that upset you? I'm sorry, but it's true.
Like, I'm glad I'm not alone, but I don't want anyone to feel like they should be cast aside because of it. Like, yo, in mental institutions, it's whack. It's really whack, and it wears away.
What? I can't even imagine what goes on in there.
It's horrible. Like, they'll give you a cup about this big, and they'll put the pills in it, and they'll put water in it, and they'll make you drink it, and they'll look in the cup and look in your mouth to make sure you took your pills or whatever before they even give you what you're prescribed to have.
So they're just trying to mute you.
They dope you up, and then you get what you're supposed to get. So I was just like, all right, like, I'm not even in the position to argue. Like, I can't tell you to Google me because, like, when you Google me, some BS pops up. So
right.
It's very difficult to let people know who I am and what I'm worth without sounding arrogant, number one, and number two, believing in myself. Like, that's always been the hard part. Like, to bring it back to your question from earlier, I didn't believe in myself. The only thing I believed in was my music. So when all this hype was going on, it was just like, yeah, all right, well, in a matter of days, I'm going to let y'all down. And I ain't even do nothing. That's why I didn't leave the house, because I didn't believe in myself. And my new team is allowing me room to understand who I am and what I've become before my quote-unquote downfall. And it's a beautiful experience. Like, as you can see, I'm getting a little emotional.
Is this bothering you? Do you want to back up a little bit?
It's cool.
All right, okay.
like, you need to really believe in yourself if you're going to get into the music business. You have to believe in yourself more than anything.
So do you now?
Working on
it. Okay. Do you feel good about the music that's coming?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Like, I don't, like, one thing about working with the Invisible Men is they work so hard. They let their music speak for itself. Like, New York Raining is a really funky record.
Are you okay? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Let's go.
Yeah, I thought we was going to get a beat going or something.
You want to do that? Are we even set up for that in this room? We can
Oh,
be.
man.
No, we should do that.
I was about to go yam.
Let's do it. Let's set it up.
All right, cool.